Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third round of the 2022 Pot of Gold, presented by No Team. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, joined alongside Silas Schultz. And Silas, little home course, home state action here coming at you. Your brother is playing in the tournament. Thank you so much for joining. We've never done commentary together, but I was looking for a little insight, and I'm sure you've got plenty for us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll try to provide any insight I have. But I'm excited about it, yeah.
We got Matty O with a 6-stroke lead over your brother, and they're in the third round, and we're playing at a different course than what they played in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, so the course they played originally was PDF, or Park de Familia, I think is what it's called. It's actually a course where they drained a swamp, added like all of this stuff, and created a course out of it. So it's really good. Unfortunately, Thunder's roller there is not really good and ends up OB. So that's not a great way to start the day, but
yeah, and I worry that for some of these players, they had no idea there was going to be a camera that just showed up on Sunday morning to capture their third round here. So big props to everyone for having a little bit of patience and maybe even being a little bit surprised as we see Chad Sherbert.
Yep.
And JC Rohe, what do you know about his game?
JC, he's just solid. Like, dude's got a forehand, he's got a backhand, he's got a putt. And I feel like every time I play against him, I get frustrated about how good he plays because of, like, I don't know, he doesn't do anything that, like, blows my mind, but he's just a really solid player all around.
Somewhat unassuming, but gets it done. And we're seeing your brother find another tree and a little bit of struggles here. Anything that you would take away, knowing him and his game? Anything you'd take here in these first couple of shots?
I mean, you saw the roller off one. Thunder he's great at rollers. Like and he plays within his game, and so you might see him pull out a couple unconventional shots, and those are just shots that he's comfortable with, and he likes to play within his strength. So really inspiring to me, at least, to try things that to just stick what I'm doing and what I'm comfortable with. And so yeah.
So the approach by JC leaks a little bit to the right side. He's going to be left probably just outside the circle. Here's Chad. Do you compete against Chad often?
I do. Chad is from Mississippi, and so we do play a couple of tournaments yearly against each other. I love playing with Chad.
And then a man who just is coming off of surgery a few weeks earlier, having his appendix taken out, and here he is putting for eagle during this very first hole.
No way. I just feel for all of the guys on the card right now, because Matty, he's got a nice lead, and he's just so hard. Like, you have to play so well to really make this a contest, and he seems like he's not showing signs of slowing down off the bat.
Great opening birdie here for JC. He's going to move to 9 under, and you see what we were just talking about, Matt opening up with a 6-stroke lead over Thunder, who's struggling here on 1, and he's got plenty on both Chad and JC. This event somewhat unique. That's off the chains. Unique that 2 rounds on Saturday, 1 round of 18 here on Sunday morning, and then everyone that's made the cut, so to speak, will play 9 more holes, and it's just these same 1 through 9.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we'll see in a final round, as I use air quotes, a final 9 holes.
So you saw that first putt, Thunder's going to like his low spin stroke, where anything outside of probably 20, 25 is going to be that, usually. Very accurate with it. He's one of the best putters I know. And then if he's closer to kind of lay off the steam, he'll do a sort of lean-in putt that we just saw there, of just kind of just paint the pole and toss it right in. So got a couple of different strokes, which is frustrating me because I have 1 stroke, and it's not great all the time, and he has just multiple ones that he can pull out whenever he wants. But yeah.
Speaking of different options, double G jerky, I don't want to get too excited about it now, but plenty of flavors and options. Here's Matty O after the birdie on 1. Looks like a pretty safe, conservative shot.
Yeah, this one, this hole is just backed up a little bit with the Pro Tee. You can see that pad right there just in front of him, and it's a low ceiling kind of from the short pad. and then it feels even lower when you back it up like that. So it's going to be tough to give it the power to sneak all the way through and go underneath without ice rolling. But, man, he was going for the roll. This could be good, actually. Didn't really get left.
It's going to find itself on the right side rough. I know he's going to be pinched up in there. And, again, your brother loves the rollers, you said.
Dang. I think he liked the angle. It's just the height was just a little bit too high.
And a roller yet again. So we've got his third attempt at rolling.
Oh, my. I did not know. They must have. Looks like they moved that pin way back.
Yeah, this comes in at 735 feet, and one might say, man, 735, that kind of seems like a soft par 5, but this low ceiling says otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, Matt just knows how to throw low lasers, and you can see him struggling with the ceiling here. So, yeah, if that gives you a little bit of perspective. Oh, no.
Yeah, and he's just trying to punch out. He really struggled with the best way he could get any forward progress, and eventually kind of a standstill and punching it out on his second. Here's Chad throwing his second. Just not the stability he needed.
Oh, like a smash, though. I mean, he might be pin high to just throw something in at it. The dog?
Yeah,
on the course.
And spoiler, that's a little bit of a theme you see. There's a lot of other park goers out here enjoying their time. So whether it's a distraction or you just want to make sure you don't, come in contact with them, you certainly have to be aware of the local dog walking.
Yeah, this is City Park in New Orleans. So you'll see all kinds of stuff out here, from dogs to that random guy to chickens to literally anything could be going on at any time.
Little bit short. And here's Matty with his third. And now he played in a tournament the weekend before as well, or no? Did I catch something about him trying to compete and he went back to the ER, but this time for dehydration? Did you hear this?
I did not hear this, but it doesn't surprise me because I'm pretty sure Matt could beat anybody with half an appendix or no appendix, or an exploding appendix, and I think he's that good. He's pretty unfazed by all that stuff.
As you said, Chad was pin high and able to pitch it right up next to the basket.
Ooh. Did that catch metal, or is it just wide?
I think it caught just the slightest bit of metal.
Is this a black putter he's putting with?
It appears that it is.
So I don't know if that's the same putter, but I played a tournament with him. I think it was his first tournament back with Trilogy, and he was putting with these beat up black judges, and I was like, "Hey, like, where did you just beat these in? Like that you couldn't have just beat them in this much?" And he was like, he told me, "No, so when I left the first time, I gave these to somebody, and then when I came back, the guy offered me the putters again, and so he just continued. He just back like he never left, and was using the same ones. So, I mean, I just thought that was so cool to just bring back your old putters. There's got to be some good mojo there,
for sure. And again, part of the incredible disc golf community, where sometimes, you think about collectibles and you think about, somebody trying to extort and get as much as you could out of a situation like that, and to have somebody just say, "Hey, yeah, I've got no problem handing them back to you."
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Chad picks up the birdie, an easy one at that, made light work of it, and JC gets the par. So not a ton of movement here other than your brother falling back a few strokes on the first hole. We're going to head over to hole number 3, 375 feet. Do you like the high route or the low route here?
Terry, I always go high. I'm always the high route. Okay, I love Matt's shirt so much. Like, he told me before, like, wow, that shot is so good also. But he told me that he was going to get, like, some Matty O shirts printed that were, like, kind of reflect him. Uh-huh. And, man, to come out with a Mardi Gras shirt just in New Orleans, this is so great. I love it so much.
Chad goes low. He had, after seeing Matty O's route, I thought, oh, everyone will throw up there. And then Chad went probably the more conventional route for somebody that doesn't have the Matty O power.
Sure.
That barely gets clipped. Sidewalk doesn't play as any form of OB on this hole.
Oh, really?
That I know of. Maybe short. Maybe if you're short or left of the sidewalk, you might. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of another hole.
Okay.
Maybe short and left does play as out of bounds on this one. But so far, everyone's been past it. And it's really deceiving. I'm thinking that's just a few feet past the pin. That's a full 50 feet.
Wow. And this is a putt with a little bit of OB behind it.
Oh,
dang.
So draws metal, but gonna likely walk away with the par. Here's Chad for a birdie.
Oh. Just immediately knew. I'm very unpleased with the effort there.
It's not really much of a chance at all. A little bit of sun to deal with, but of course Matty O has his sunglasses on. Going to start 3 for 3.
Oh. That's shocking to me.
That's how I felt as I was filming. I'm like, is there some weird force field around this basket that we've seen those two putts both come up that short?
I'm just gonna blame Chad. I think he saw. I don't know. I don't want to go into the logic, but I think we're gonna say it's Chad's fault, and hopefully this doesn't continue for either one of them. But
so Orum picks up his first par of the round. And a couple more pars. So JC will take the honors, and they're going to head over to hole number 4. Big shout out to Levon and the in-zone quick stick. Hole 4, 445 feet. You know, low ceilings, certainly a big factor at this course, and this is a perfect example of that, right?
Yeah, 100%. This is like the ideal like roller or like low forehand, but it just takes a lot. And if you're going to do the backhand, you're going to have to do it like this. Okay, so this is actually in the straighter pin position. So, man, yeah, it's just a low ceiling. It's just a 450 low ceiling all the way. And if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you're going to get a 3, yeah.
Yeah. Turns up. Looks like there is a Mando on that right side that doesn't really come into play much. And now another roller.
Yeah, I think that was probably an essence. Yeah, just cut a little too quick there.
Do you like the roller play here?
I mean, I like it for people who throw like good rollers. For me, I'm probably gonna try to beam something low. But yeah, I definitely don't dislike the play.
JC got over on that one too much, not giving it enough air. That won't be the last time your brother catches me on a follow. He takes a couple warm-up swings.
He does, yeah.
And which is great, and I haven't filmed him a lot, so there's a few times he caught me on those, on the pump fakes.
But you're a seasoned professional. It doesn't happen as much as it happens to others, I'm sure. You've been doing this a while.
You hate to not follow the shot, so then you do it, and then you find out, oh, he got me.
Yeah.
JC, this is to save the par.
Go.
Ooh. So almost pin high for Orum's birdie luck.
Oh, my. That would be just such a good get.
Oh, and so nasty. It rolls at least 25. And I think even more important than the actual distance is look at the stance.
Wow. Unfazed.
Yeah, I had to trim a full 20 seconds of him just trying to find his footing.
Yeah.
He really was uncomfortable, and he made it ultimately look easy. I'm thinking, wow, okay, that wasn't really a challenge apparently, Matt.
Well, I definitely think it's a challenge, but I think his putting style does kind of cater a little bit more to that in a tricky situation. I find myself wishing, like, I could just do a all wrist spin really high to kind of, because sometimes your arm's just so restricted to do like a traditional swing, and that high release point is just like a little bit more compact. I mean, it all just depends on the trees, but even this past week I found myself on a putt like, man, if I was Matty O, this wouldn't really be a problem. I mean, that's the case a lot, I guess, but
True.
in this particular situation.
Well, he's got the honors back. We're here on one of the shorter holes we've seen so far, 305 feet. Oh, no, and over that sidewalk, out of bounds. He goes OB pretty close to the basket, so he'll get a good mark, but that is OB if you go deep.
Yeah, this is one where it's like it's not the end of the world if you go out of bounds, but it is tricky with those two trees on what position you get from there, because if you're too far right or too far left, you can kind of get stuck.
And then your brother goes much higher than what I saw from everyone else, and I kind of lost it for a second. And then it ends up left side of the pin, probably about 25, maybe 30 feet left, and I think those trees will come into play. JC.
Oh, okay, cool.
And tried to cut the corner a little short, and there's the result.
No.
We really had no idea where it was for the longest time, and then we're like, hey, none of us saw it come down.
Oh.
And so it actually did stay up there. And, of course, per the rules, he'll mark it directly below where the disc is, and they're not playing a 2-meter penalty here, so he'll just be throwing 2 from here.
And that's a prodigy approach disc if I've ever seen one. You kind of just pull that thing to the right and let it spike in.
Chad just barely stays in bounds. There's only 2 or 3 trees, or one tree with multiple legs, from this basket, and look at all the trouble it gives.
Yeah. This is kind of reminds me of maybe hole 11 at Fountain Hills where it has those 2 palm trees. It's like, it's a fun green until you get on the wrong side of it. Wow. That's my brother.
Yeah? Is that a signature patented Anheuser no problem kind of putt for him?
I don't know. The dude's just a good putter, and
Okay.
so he's got good touch.
That was a great angle. I mean, there was such a fine line he could put that on to actually cash that in. Here's Matty O to save his par after going out of bounds.
No problem.
Seems stress-free. Well, a little stress there, but passes the test, and he remains at 2 under through the front 5. This is the safe par as well for Chad.
Oh, no. I feel that, Chad. I feel that.
Always a little self-assessment. We'll move on over to hole number 6. Big shout out to Westside, as you said, the Trilogy family, represented Matty O and crew. There's a roller.
We got Thunder's 5th roller of the round. That's pretty good.
A lot of forward momentum and progress it went with.
Oh, that tree kind of just absorbs that one. Interested to see what his footing's going to be like. It looks like you're going to try to just put yourself in a position to have a big second shot on this hole so that... Because it looks like, it's just a long hole. So I think, having good footing and run up is pretty key. That should be fine.
Yeah, what do you think of Matty's forehand off this tee? I mean, you've seen a couple backhands. Do you think forehand is that an aggressive move, or are you is that a little bit conservative? And then a very different look here going with the backhand up to the right side.
Yeah, I think I would probably go backhand up the right side, but I am surprised to not see him go like roller or Annie or hyzer. But it could have just been a conservative play that kind of got away from him. That's a great out.
Well, you were talking about his footing, and that's exactly, the challenge there that he had to deal with. That standstill, patent pending.
Yeah.
Trying to gain as much distance here on a, 660-foot hole. Chad in great position here.
Ooh, very textbook. That'll just be a drop in birdie.
This is Matty's third after the pitch out from the bush. JC from somewhere in the middle of circle 2.
Wow. I mean, JC probably, he's putting together a solid round, and his putting, has been, that's 2 pretty big ones. That's some good confidence going into the rest of the round. That's a good hit.
And just so firm and committed.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking when I'm watching your brother. He putts with so much force.
Yeah.
And I just think, man, he's got to be okay with comebackers, because if he misses, he rarely is going to have a tap-in comebacker.
Yeah. No, he's very okay with comebackers. We've discussed it, and, he's a good putter. He's a confident putter, and he's going to send his putts. And he talks about having throwing with the most force that you feel like you have the best chance of making it. If that's a lot of speed or that's, not a lot of speed, he feels like, more speed is a better chance, and so that's what he goes with, and he's confident to make, any comebacker that he sees. So.
And when it comes to distance on his drives, I don't want to say what does he max out at, but what would you say he comfortably considers himself in terms of driving length?
He's definitely not a short thrower. I think he can touch 500 for sure. And I think on the course, he's got all the distance that, any, pro needs, especially at a course like this where it's, more about maybe some upshots and being more technical.
Where are you going? Just throw it in the worst spot on every round.
And Matty-O finding an alternate fairway, some other entirely different world. You see David Wiggins, a little cameo by one of the greatest throwers in the game. We see him out at the tournament. It's a good-looking approach shot. Just a little bit short, but looks good.
And that's just a glow FD3 hyzer. A lot of hyzer on that. Just a knife. Straight to the green. He should have probably a similar look to the one he just made.
Ooh, yeah, Chad basket hunting on some of these longer approaches. And then Matty-O was so far off to the left, he waited for everyone on the right to throw. And then apparently found some other fairway over there.
No way. Wow. That's ridiculous.
That's the closest to the pin approach after what many would consider as the most out of position.
Wow. Matty said when he released that drive, you're just going to throw it to the worst spot on every hole, but it's not that bad of a spot, apparently.
Seems like he had a clearing over there and took advantage of it. So here's JC for birdie.
Nice.
Another solid putt. That puts him 3 down for the front 7 so far. Chad also trying to get 3 down to 3 down here on the front 7.
Just a little lack of commitment, it seems like, on these putts, just not quite getting them over the cage. This is actually kind of a fun green to play on because it's sort of a bowl, and you can kind of just like put anything, and if it gets over that initial hill, you'll just kind of trickle to the pin.
See, Orum picks up a birdie, so he also 3 down through the first 7 holes, so kind of a popular number. Big shout out to Kale and Airborne as we head over to hole 8, 375 feet, kind of playing back toward the parking lot.
Come back. Came back.
Directions unclear.
Directions.
And this one feels a little bit deceptive because you're covering all this open space,
Yeah.
and then it's just kind of tucked into the woods line. So
Yeah.
it, at 375 feet, it just, and maybe it's just optics to me, but it feels like a weird, I don't know, distance or something.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like between spots for me, at least, of like, do I just kind of crush on a mid or do I step up to a fairway? And I think we saw Thunder and Matty go mid there, which it's a fine play, but you're right, it is kind of tricky to like gauge how hard to throw it because it is kind of, especially in the shadows and stuff like that, it is kind of a little bit tricky. And this is also kind of a fast green. So if you do go fairway, it's easy to kind of skip long and have a longer look.
Could have done without the little mac off the tree, but that still is all right.
2012. 10-year anniversary.
Man, we're getting soft and spoiled around here. Everybody's used to the 10-meter whiskers and flagging and everything.
Or
so.
at least to pull out a Bushnell. Man, although I can't handle people Bushnelling putts. I'm sorry for anyone who Bushnells putts, but like,
ooh, spicy take.
hot take. Put it away and put the putter in the basket. You don't need to know. Nice.
No Bushnell required.
This would be an appropriate time to say humbra.
Okay.
Which is just a New Orleans saying, and I couldn't even tell you 100% what it means, except it's just something that is said constantly.
Okay. I'm gonna plead the fifth. If it gets us in trouble, I'll back off. There's a birdie putt for your brother. He follows up the Orum birdie.
Oh no.
You were just saying on the last hole, maybe a little lack of commitment and came up a little bit short this time. He gives it full power, but if you're not connecting,
and we can all relate to that. It's like cage, okay, I'm going to put more on it. Then you pull it wide, and then you say, okay, well, now I'm not going to pull it wide. And then you pull it left, and then you just feel like everything is starting to spiral out of control. And so it's hard to, like, reel it all back in and kind of, like, focus up, especially after 2 people hit, like, outside the circle looks. And, you feel like yours is expected to go in.
fortunately the 3-putt leads to the bogey for Chad, and he's going to fall back to 1 under on the round and 10 under overall. And we're going to head over to a pretty unique hole, the 9th and final hole of the round. So big shout out to the team and everyone else that's been part of the event to put it on and describe what they're doing here.
So we got a sweet triple mando, and from this, the gold pro tee, it's tough, man, especially since they moved this basket back. It's not easy. It takes like a line drive to get it all the way through, and there is OB on both sides.
Short, but a little out of position.
Yeah, not
For
exactly
Thunder.
what you're looking for.
Yeah, and I see JC here lining up. It just feels like he's going to go a little bit wider. And he wants that just to check up, but that's, not as challenging as your brother's.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not impossible if you're, too far left, but it's tricky, and so this is kind of more what you're looking for with a layup. It's just get you right in the middle, toss your shot right up, to it. And at 330, this is just very, very difficult to two.
4. Sorry.
And Tournament Central, along
no
with,
out of bounds deep.
he clarified there was no out of bounds. But, yeah, Tournament Central, little extra commotion that's always happening over there as well. You're hearing some of that with the generator and whatnot.
Ooh.
Yeah, and if you really break this hole into two, it's, 165 and 165.
Sure.
Or, yeah, I think that's the right math. 265-foot shots.
Oh, so we're going like step out, mid-range, cut roller. And that might be a worse spot.
Yeah, he really contemplated with, what his best angle was. And I was surprised to see it. And kind of a little wrist spinny.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it feels like it's going from bad to worse. Here's Matty O. A long look at birdie.
Just waits for it to hit the ground.
So this is for a bogey 4. Man, and if you would have said to somebody, yeah, there's going to be a double bogey here, and it's not because they missed they made the Mando.
Right.
Right? Like a double bogey after missing the Mando, no big deal.
Sure.
But to know that he never missed the Mando.
Oh.
That was for par as well by JC. So hole number 9, taking a bite out of the players here, the double bogey. Matty O's going to tap in for the par. Silas, I want to say thanks for joining. Hopefully you'll come back for the back 9 around 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We got more golf to watch. Big shout out. We're here at the Pot of Gold. Thank you to all of the supporters, partners, anyone else that has anything to do. David and Rebecca, along with all of the tournament staff. We appreciate it. We're going to take a quick look at where they're at through 9 holes of round 3 before we call it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Put something in the comments so that we can give you some kind of giveaway. We didn't even talk about what you need to do, but we'll have something as a giveaway. So we appreciate you guys for joining.